Welcome to CARICOMP Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
You walk into a grocery store to grab milk and bread. A camera catches your face, turns it into a mathematical fingerprint, and checks it against a list of known shoplifters. You didn't sign anything. You didn't know it happened. And in most of North America, a small sign on the door is all the store legally owes you. If you've ever bought groceries, this story is about your face. Here's what just happened. Quebec's privacy regulator, a body called the CAI, issued a ruling in April of 2026 on a grocery chain called Metro. Metro wanted to run facial recognition in 10 of its stores to catch repeat thieves. The regulator said something strange. It said the technology could pass the test, but shoppers still can't legally be scanned this way. So the question threading through this whole episode: when a store uses your face for security, who decides what happens to it afterward? You or them? Let's start with that contradiction, because it's the heart of the ruling. A year earlier, in February of 2025, that same regulator banned facial recognition for verifying identity. That ban is still being fought in appeal. So the April ruling gives a conditional green light. Yes, the system is justified, but consent law still blocks it unless the appeal overturns the ban. In plain terms, the technology passed, but the shopper's right to say no won. For a store, that's a legal standoff. For you, it means someone finally asked whether you get a say. Now, why did the regulator even entertain Metro's system? Because Metro did its homework. The company tried less invasive tools first. It agreed not to keep your face data if there's no match. It limited the pilot to just 10 stores. And it capped how long any data lives to 18 months. The regulator still flagged the risks, false matches, and bias that hit some faces harder than others. That last part matters to real people. If the system is wrong about your face, you're the one getting stopped for something you didn't do. The bigger shift is in what regulators now demand. It's no longer enough to say, we're stopping theft. Metro had to document in writing why facial recognition was necessary and prove the cheaper, less invasive tools had actually failed. Investigators will recognize that discipline. It's the same standard as a case file. Justify your tool, show your work, prove the alternative didn't work. A sign taped to the door doesn't cut it anymore. For the rest of us, that's the difference between a store that can explain itself and one that just points a camera and hopes. And where you live changes everything. Only 3 states, Illinois, Texas, and Washington, have laws written specifically for your biometric data. About 20 more treat it as sensitive under broader privacy laws. Everywhere else, your face is basically only protected if there's a data breach. So whether a store owes you anything depends less on the technology and more on your zip code. Here's the twist most people miss. This fight was never really about whether the technology works. It's about whether the store can explain itself, and whether you ever got to say no. The accuracy isn't the issue, the accountability is. So let's bring it home. A Quebec regulator told a grocery chain its face scanning could be justified, but shoppers still have the right to refuse. The store had to prove on paper that it tried everything else first. And across most of the map, a tiny notice on the door is all the law requires. Whether you're building a case or just buying groceries, this changes one thing. The right to your own face shouldn't depend on whether you happen to read the fine print. The full story's in the description if you want the deep dive.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.